Okay, everybody, Dr. Mary Rensel here with Dr. Lawrence. Hi, Dr. Lawrence.
Hey, Dr. Mary Rensel, how are you?
Good. So we're both brain doctors. I'm a neurologist. She's a psychiatrist, but we both coach. So we're here as coaches, but brain lovers. So as coaches, we hear a lot of stories, don't we? We hear a lot of tough stories. So people go through a lot at work. I just had just was coaching someone who was, she called it abuse at work, meaning like emotionally so rough and didn't feel valued and felt demeaned. There was a lot of very, very negative emotions that happened with her at work. So clients, we hear a lot from clients. And so coaches, most likely have emotions after coaching, I would think. I tend to myself. And so what are, 3 things or the top couple things that people can do, when they're trying to help someone else, but they also want to know what to do with their own emotions?
Yeah. So I think a good place to start is kind of what you said in acknowledging that we have our own emotional responses too, right? It can be easy to try to stay objective and stay stoic, kind of the way that we do in our physician-patient relationships. But the coaching relationship can be a little different. And when you are really digging in there and getting into like what's going on internally for people, it can, touch your heart and mind too. And so I think acknowledging first that, you're a human and that you're going to have thoughts and feelings about your interactions with people is a good place to start. One option for kind of processing emotion is, of course, having your own coach or your own therapist. And I think that kind of keeps us fresh, keeps us from burning out with all of the, emotions that we get from the folks that we're working with. And so that's definitely an option. If you prefer more of an approach where you're not necessarily working with an outside person, I think some of that work can be done on your own as well. I think a first step, if you are kind of wanting to process emotion and do it maybe without a therapist right next to you, is to get a journal. A journal can be kind of serves as a safe space to release all of those thoughts and feelings that you're having and just put them on paper. I find that like when we don't release our emotions in some way, whether it's through a conversation with someone who can hold safe space for us or write it out, that it can kind of get trapped in our bodies to say it in a way, but it kind of causes a lot of distress. These thoughts just kind of banging around in our brains, right? And not being released. And so I think that's a good first step, is finding some way to release whatever you're thinking and whatever you're feeling. And then, step 2 to kind of processing emotions, I think, is identifying the feelings and then the thoughts that are causing those feelings, right? And recognizing the connection between the two. And once you recognize that, it becomes a lot easier to take a look at the thoughts that are causing that distress and start processing through those using, lots of various tools, but changing the way you feel by changing the way you think. But I think it starts with a good release and recognizing that connection between the two.
That's so interesting. So powerful, right? Isn't it amazing? Just the power of listing that. So do you make a list of all the feelings and then you try to go back and say, where are those feelings coming from? The thoughts behind them.
Yeah. What am I telling myself when I'm feeling sad, or what am I telling myself when I'm frustrated? Is a good question to ask.
I love it, everybody. Lots of tools.
Yep.
From the brain lovers. Okay. We got this, huh?
That's
so
right.
Don't forget about this, right? This is important stuff, right? Like you said, if we don't release the emotions, they tend to go somewhere, or what do you think? Emotional processing is really vital for healthy living, right?
I think it's vital for healthy living. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because otherwise, so these are tools and maybe they'll work today and maybe you have to learn a new one. And that's a lot of times why people might see a professional, get a coach, or they might get a therapist. They might, any kind of professional you need really to learn how to do this well. Because it's vital for healthy living, because they're going somewhere, all those feelings, huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Don't ignore your feelings, please. That's all we ask. They come from the brain. Isn't it funny how people always say it's from your heart? It's just easier to understand from the heart.
But we know.
Yeah. They come.
That's right.
Yeah. So take care of your brain. There's so many ways. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. This is the Coaches Chat. All right, Dr. Lawrence. Stay
Bye, Dr.
well.
Thanks. You too.
All right.
Bye.